I'm Paul Van Schoyck of Taekwondo Guide, and this is Topic Tuesday. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Our first topic today comes from Alavino 4, or Anthony. Anthony writes, "Hi, can you comment on the Sine Wave method in TKD? It seems that schools that follow the ITF use Sine Wave motions in strikes and blocks. Thanks, Anthony." Thank you, Anthony. Well, if you don't know, a sine wave is just an up and down sort of oscillation. And yes, in the ITF method of Taekwondo, in their forms, they practice oscillating up and down as a way of generating power. You can think that most martial arts generate power by turning the hips horizontally. In a sine wave movement, you raise your body and then drop it, and when you drop your weight, you use that weight drop to generate power. It's another way of transferring energy into a target. Is it right? Is it wrong? It's just an additional method. Now, where did it come from? The founder of ITF Taekwondo is General Choi. And General Choi was always making little, what he called, innovations to the movements of Taekwondo. Now, this is according to the book that everyone tells me I need to read, which is called A Killing Art. I have read the book. It's been a while. It's kind of funny when people comment on a video, they tell you books you should read, assuming you haven't read them. I have read the book. But according to that book, General Choi was making these consistent innovations throughout his career to distinguish Taekwondo from the movements of karate. One of the first things he did to distinguish Taekwondo from karate was change the angle of the bend in the forearm on a low block. Most martial arts styles, karate or WT Taekwondo, when you do a low block, your elbow comes to a nearly locked out position. In his case, he opted for more of a bend in the elbow, believing that would be a better functional block. And that was one of the early things he did according to the book A Killing Art. And then in the 70s and 80s, he added this idea of sine wave into the forms of ITF Taekwondo. It is not found in WT Taekwondo, which is what I practice, and it's not found in the version of Tang Sudo that I practice either. So really, I don't have a lot of experience with sine wave. I only have observed it in other Taekwondo systems, and I only know of its history through the lens of the book A Killing Art. So that's what I know about sine wave. Sorry, I can't be too much help there, but it is something that was added to the movements of Taekwondo by General Choi, at least according to A Killing Art. It's probably a nice tool to have in your toolbox if you want to learn how to generate power in a different fashion from how most martial arts look at generating power. But beyond that, I can't tell you much. All right, the next question comes from Andre Prado 4024. We have a string of questions right now relating to fitness and Taekwondo. Maybe it's because we just started the new year. And so Andre Prado writes, "So I just started learning TKD at the age of 28. I try to practice at least 2 times a week. My question though is, would training in calisthenics and weightlifting hinder my progress in TKD? I'm currently just trying to learn how to do pistol squats and how to do unassisted pull-ups. And at the gym, I've tailored my workouts to help with my single leg strength, which has helped with my balance in TKD. But I don't know if I should practice TKD more times a week and focus on body weight exercise, or if my current routine is okay. Any help is appreciated." So it always comes down to one big question when you're talking about building some sort of fitness program, and it is, what is the goal of that program? Now, if your goal is just to get good at Taekwondo, and even that is a very broad sort of concept, you know, what part of Taekwondo do you want to get better at? Pumse, sparring, and then specifically in there, what do you want to get better at? But let's just say you want to become an elite sparring athlete for simplicity's sake. What would a routine look like for someone who wants to become an elite sparring athlete, like Olympic level? Well, this is out of my wheelhouse, so I talked to the sparring coach that works with my students here, and he spent many years training with one of the Olympic coaches, and I asked what they did for athletes there. And here's the thing. It really depends on each individual. So first, most people don't do enough Taekwondo to hit the point of diminishing returns with Taekwondo practice itself. What that means is you can get better at Taekwondo by just doing more Taekwondo more easily than by adding in a bunch of additional exercises. It's kind of like if you want to get better at running, the most important thing to do first is to do a lot of running. Now there is a point where you hit diminishing returns with that. So if you're doing hours of Taekwondo every day, you might be at that point where you're going to gain more benefits now by not doing Taekwondo itself, but by adding in supplementary exercises. Now for the elite sparring athletes, it looks different for each person. They have personal strength training coaches that look at their bodies and what they specifically need to develop, which of course is going to vary per individual. So I can't give you anything specific as to what you should work on to improve your Taekwondo, because I don't know your body, I don't know how much Taekwondo you're doing, and it's something that needs to be judged by a professional strength trainer if you want to really just go for a goal-oriented approach. Now, if your goals are just simply fitness, well, you can do all sorts of different things. And I don't think any weight training or calisthenics will hurt your Taekwondo. If you look at what I do, it's going to be very different from what a lot of other people do because I have arthritis in my hip, and so I have to be very careful with the exercises I choose. My goal is no longer to be an elite Taekwondo athlete. In fact, it never was. I was never looking to compete at any kind of Olympic level. So it was always just supplemental fitness. But everything I do now, for the most part, is geared around just strengthening my glutes, and I ride an exercise bike to churn that ball and joint socket, and I'll do push-ups and pull-ups, just as sort of general upper body strength training. Do push-ups and pull-ups help my Taekwondo? Probably a little, but I'd be better off if I wanted to just get better at Taekwondo doing more Taekwondo. So you can see it's going to be very specific for the individual, and it's not something you can answer easily. And anyone who does that, I think they're being too naive as to the complexity of the human body and what each individual needs to do to best fit what their goal is. I hope that helps. Like I said before, none of these things are going to hurt your Taekwondo. It takes a lot of weight training to add any kind of bulk, for example. Tremendous amount of time. Now, if what you're doing is giving you the results you want, I suggest you keep doing it. What more can you ask for than getting the results you want? All right. Next question comes from Float Yacht Fu, who says, Master Paul, thanks for answering my question, referring to the last Topic Tuesday. I wanted to ask if you do calisthenics or weight training. Same question again, basically. So as I was saying, the exercises I do are specifically tailored to improving the health of my arthritic hip. So they're probably not things that you would find beneficial. I do like calisthenics. The thing I like about calisthenics is you can do them pretty much anywhere. So it's my preferred form of strength training because if I go on vacation, I can still do push-ups. If I wake up early and I don't want to go over to a gym. My dad has a gym at his house, so I use his, or I used to at least, from time to time. I still use some of the equipment there, but that's for the exercise bike. So I don't have time to do that. Well, I can still whip out some push-ups right after I get out of the shower or whatever. It's easy to fit them in throughout the day. And because I'm not looking to be a bodybuilder or anything like that, it's just a nice way to add in some strength training. Again, is it super beneficial to my Taekwondo? Is it going to make me look like a bodybuilder? No. It's just a way for me to exercise throughout the day. All right. From Muhammad Salim, is a full split necessary for martial arts? Well, of course, first it depends on the martial arts style. In a style like Taekwondo, where kicking is so prominent, having increased range of motion is quite handy. Is it necessary? For what? For being world class? Probably. I spoke with one of the Pumse athletes who competes at a world level, and he told me he doesn't know anyone who competes at a world level who can't do the split. Now, is it necessary for everyone for just sort of general practice? No, I've seen lots of capable people who can't do a split. I would suspect that a lot of people who fight in the UFC can't do a split. So it's really, again, coming down to what your goals are as a martial arts practitioner. If you're a young Pumse athlete, you pretty much need to be able to kick sky high because that's what your competitors are doing at a world-class level. Locally, no, you don't need to do that. You can get away with lower kicks and be good at local Pumse competition. But certainly being able to do a split is going to help because it does increase your range of motion, which increases your opportunities. All right, those are all the questions I have for Topic Tuesday today. But as always, if you have a topic you would like me to discuss, please drop it in the comments and I will be happy to discuss it. Remember as well that this channel has lots of technique videos. If you haven't checked those out yet, scroll through my how-to playlist and check out those technique videos. I'd love to get back to making more technique videos soon, but I'll be honest with you, I'm in a really good place right now in terms of being able to tie my shoes and sit down without extreme discomfort in my hip. And I'm not ready to leave it just yet. I am seeking some alternative treatments such as PRP and stem cells. I haven't pulled the trigger on anything yet, but it may be a while before I'm ready to do technique videos again. My goal for the beginning of the year is to heal because I was in a very bad place before the year ended, where again it was painful just to tie my shoes. So, I'm looking forward to getting back to those technique videos eventually. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy Topic Tuesday. Until next time, thanks for joining.